the Sports Renegades podcast on SportstownChicago.com. All right, welcome back to the Sports Renegades here on SportstownChicago.com. I'm Ryan Stuprich.
And I'm Ryan Risky.
And now we are just going to continue on our own a little bit, the discussion with the Tom Thibodeau dismissal, and now some of the candidates that are now open and possibly available to the Bulls. Another guy that we didn't really get to with Anubov was Lionel Hollins, who coached Memphis, and he did a very good job again. Of course, when he left, the Grizzlies hired Dave Yeager, who's doing a nice job as well. But I think Lionel Hollins is another guy, if he's interested in coaching. I think that's another guy they should put on their radar instead of just saying, we want to get Fred Hoiberg, and that's what we're going to do. And Fred Hoiberg is going to leave because he'll get a lot of money in the NBA, and it's stupid.
Did you listen to the press conference between Gar and Pax?
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it online. I didn't see it live. It was very strange. It looked a little weird. It seemed like they already had their mind set.
I mean, what I read was it sounded like they were indirectly saying that Fred Hoiberg was the guy.
And it didn't seem like they had too much concern about anything either. It didn't seem like they had that much concern about Tom Thibodeau leaving. They're like, yeah, Tom Thibodeau's leaving, and that's it. The one thing that was interesting is I think it was last week or maybe earlier in the week, this week, there was a lot of reports saying that the Bulls were going to wait to fire Tom Thibodeau until all the coaching vacancies were filled and then leave him out in the dust so he wouldn't be able to coach. I'm glad they didn't do that because I think that's very unfair to Tom Thibodeau for what he's done and what his track record is. He was the defensive mind of the Celtics that won the championship in 2008. And then, of course, he had success with the Bulls. He was a really good scout in the 1990s. I was reading up on him a little bit. So, I mean, he's done a lot of good things. I'm glad the Bulls didn't leave him in the dust like that. I'm glad that they're going to give him a chance to coach a really good team. And, I mean, the Cavaliers probably already are on his radar.
Yeah, there is. And it's really too bad they couldn't find a trade. I mean, it makes me wonder if it was even pursued.
I'm not sure. I don't know. Although I'm not sure who would want to trade, like right now. I mean, I understand Tom Thibodeau's a good catch, but I mean, I don't know what you're getting in return for that. The other thing that's interesting is, there's not just management and coaching conflict. There's in-player conflict. There's roster conflict between Derrick Rose and Jimmy Butler. There was a lot of talk, about Game 6, who was going to be the guy that leads the team, Jimmy Butler or Derrick Rose. And neither of them really led. Nobody on the team really led, and that's part of the reason why they got blown out in Game 6. But it's very upsetting that there's even conflict within the team, and I don't think Fred Hoiberg can I don't think he can resolve that. I think it's going to get worse because they'll be like, oh, we have a coach who lets us run freely and do whatever we want. Let's just be the New York Knicks and just shoot everything all the time. It's not good.
No, it's not. Something I read was that there was a rumor that Gar Forman and John Paxson just believed that any coach can run a good defense if he wants to, and that was why they didn't value Thibodeau as highly. They fired
It's
him.
almost like John Paxson forgot that he won 3 championships with Phil Jackson. It's almost like Paxson forgot that he was a Chicago Bull and a 3-time champion. It's ridiculous. He thinks, I mean, the Bulls back when Phil Jackson was the coach, had the best coach in the NBA at that time. I mean, him and Pat Riley were the 2 best coaches in the NBA for a very long time. And they're still sort of highly regarded as 2 of the best coaches of all time. And it's just, it's like now you're going, from Phil Jackson, and then you had a little rough patch. A lot of that was because of the talent, while Scott Skiles and Vinny Del Negro were there. And then you get Tom Thibodeau, and then things start to turn, and you start to get really good. And, and had it not been for the Rose injury, you'd possibly have a championship right now. You'd at least make it to a finals or 2. And now you're like going back to that era. It's like the roster is good enough where if you get the right coach, you're still going to be very competitive.
Right. And I mean, it's just all frustrating because it kind of makes you wonder, what does a coach have to do with the Bulls to not get fired now? Because this
apparently
is the
it's championship or bust. That's the way they're making it seem like, anyway.
Right. I mean, and you kind of want it to be like that. It's getting annoying because Tom Thibodeau did a very good job, and it seemed like it was kind of unprofessional the way that this was all handled. Like, they're pretending like he wasn't a good coach.
Yeah, it's like it's like he's easily the second best coach in their history. He's done a lot. He's been to the playoffs every year, which is not something Vinny Del Negro nor Scott Skiles could say.
Well, they were both the Del Negros years, except they were fighting for that.
Right,
they were fighting for that 8th seed both years with Del Negro.
41 and 41, right?
Both years.
And they fought against the Celtics in the 2009 playoffs. 2010 playoffs, they lost in 5 games to Cleveland. And that's the series where Joakim Noah had his famous lines about nobody goes on vacation to Cleveland.
His famous rant about Cleveland.
It's still so funny. It's such a funny comment. Watching
that video is kind of funny. Looking how young he looks.
Right. I mean that was now a little over 5 years ago.
That was
long time.
He looks so young compared to now.
Yeah, and now of course he has ailing injuries, and Jimmy Butler had a couple issues, not too many. Powell, of course, was out for those 2 games of the playoffs, and that would have been nice and important for him to play in those games. And also, right. The thing is, the people who are probably most pissed about this are the people who came, who had their first year on the Bulls this year. Pau Gasol, Nikola Mirotic, guys like that. I mean, they partly were coming because they were having a good coach in Tom Thibodeau. And now Tom Thibodeau's gone, and Powell's like, well, crap. A coach who was really good was gone. Who's going to be here now? I'm never going to win a ring again.
Yeah, I mean, it's so unreasonable to ask Powell to do what he did again this year, to do that next year.
I don't think he'll have a 46-point game like he did the game you were at.
Yeah, or I don't think he'll average like 18 and 12 and lead the league in double-doubles
No,
again.
He's not going to get 51 double-doubles or whatever he ended up getting.
And a lot of that had to do with Thibodeau and his system, and it was favoring Powell. And one thing, do you like Draymond Green? I'm just curious.
I do like Draymond Green.
Tom Thibodeau wanted to draft Draymond Green.
Mm-hmm.
Gar and Pack said no, so instead they drafted Marcus Teague.
Yeah, that didn't work out very well, obviously.
And the thing is, I read Draymond Green, his specialty is his defense. I'm just thinking, man, would he look
Draymond Green's great, and he also scores a lot,
I was
too.
just thinking, man, would Tom Thibodeau love this guy. There was a tweet today, someone said Thibodeau wanted Draymond Green, and Gar and Pack said no and took Marcus Teague.
And if there was such confusion between Tom Thibodeau and John Paxson and Gar Forman, when last offseason, when Steve Kerr was looking to get back into coaching and he was talking to a couple teams, why not fire Tom Thibodeau then and hire Steve Kerr? Obviously, Steve Kerr would be interested in coaching for a team he won 3 championships with.
Right, and the thing is, he'd be bringing back the Phil Jackson philosophy.
Right, and I mean, clearly he's a good coach. He didn't do too well as a general manager of the Phoenix Suns. But,
no, he didn't.
But he's definitely a very good coach. He might not know how to run the business side of things, but he's a good coach, and
he was a good analyst for a long time.
And I mean, this is his first year of head coaching, and he's probably, I'm 80% sure he's going to win a championship this year.
I hope he does. The city of Cleveland doesn't.
We all hope
that
he does, except for people in Ohio.
Especially when you see something like someone like Matthew Dellavedova.
I hate that guy so much.
How dirty he plays. He keeps getting other players ejected when he should be the one ejected.
Yeah, he got Al Horford ejected for nothing, really.
Yeah, when he's the
one.
Poor
Al Horford, man.
Yeah, he shoved Al Horford. He got Taj Gibson ejected for no reason. And the thing is, if he didn't play with LeBron James, those players wouldn't have been ejected. He doesn't deserve it.
If he didn't play with LeBron James, Matthew Dellavedova would be in nothing.
Nothing. No one would know who he is.
Nothing.
And in all
he'd be
honesty,
like Doug McDermott sitting on the bench.
In all honesty, the main reason I don't want Cleveland to win is because I don't want Dellavedova getting a ring because he doesn't deserve one.
He is definitely my most hated NBA player right now. either him or, a lot of the role players. I've never been a big fan of Mike Miller. I respect he's a good shooter and stuff, but I'm not a big fan of him, and I've always hated Sean Marion. So, it's a lot of things.
And the funny thing is, I read that there was an awful technical foul called on Golden State in, I think it was Game 4 or Game 5, and Joe Crawford was the ref.
Yeah.
And there was a meme immediately put up that said, "Sorry, I'm just practicing calling technical fouls on Golden State in preparation for the finals against LeBron James."
I like LeBron James. I respect his game. He's the greatest player of our generation. But he always has players on his team that are so unlikable. Like when he was at Miami, I don't like Dwayne Wade personally, but he had Chris Anderson. James Jones, of course, followed him to Cleveland.
I like James Jones. He's a good shooter. I wish
I don't mind James Jones, but there was a lot of guys on that Miami team I didn't like either, including Mike Miller when he was there too. So it's just it's always like wherever LeBron James goes, there's always like these players that I hate that follow him, and I don't hate LeBron James.
It's not LeBron. I remember when LeBron lost in the finals with Miami the first year. Everyone was laughing. Everyone was like, "Oh, LeBron's never going to win," and then he won. No one wanted him to win ever, and then when
he won 2 straight.
And then when he beat Oklahoma City, I was just kind of like, why do I care? Why did I ever care that he hadn't won?
Right.
I never like hated LeBron James.
No, I never did either.
I just thought it was fun. It's just like, I'd rather LeBron win than Kevin Durant because I just don't like Kevin Durant.
Against the Bulls, I'm going to be rooting for the Bulls to win, and maybe I won't like LeBron James there, but it's more of the people around him that really make it an unlikable team. It's not necessarily him. And another unlikable person on that Cavs team is David Blatt. He is so incompetent, and
listen to him in post-game press conferences. I wonder how. I was just kind of thinking, man, I think I could do a better job than David.
He's
Blatt.
a real ass in those press conferences too.
Yeah.
He cuts off the reporters. He's talking crap to them.
He pretends like he's smart. And he's really not.
No, he's definitely a dummy, and that's part of the reason why I think I think Cavaliers management sees that, and they're gonna probably fire him, especially if they don't win the championship, because then that gives you all more, that gives you all more of the reason to fire him, and then Tom Thibodeau will be there, and we'll see what happens there with a lot of things there. I like Kyrie Irving. I like Kevin Love. It's a shame that Kevin Love got hurt too early, because it would have been a real cool test to see, Golden State bigs going up against Cavalier bigs. Now, Golden State has a lot more size than the Cavs do, with the exception of LeBron James and a couple other guys. But,
really, unless Golden State goes on just starts shooting bricks and goes on a cold shooting,
which has never happened yet. So
yeah, unless they do that, the only way that Cleveland can win really is if LeBron scores 50 points a game and then the refs give the games to them. Which is why I hate the NBA, because that's the only sport where the refs rig games, and it's probably the sport that has the worst officiating possible. It's the only sport where being a star player gets you better treatment.
Right.
Could you imagine baseball if Clayton Kershaw got a bigger strike zone for being a superstar, or Miguel Cabrera got a smaller strike zone for being really good?
Yeah,
or hockey if every time Sidney Crosby dove, they called a tripping penalty.
I think the NBA is the most, I think it has the most people sort of in an uproar over the coaching than a lot of sports do. But, I don't necessarily agree that LeBron gets all the calls. Because a lot of players get all the calls. Steph Curry gets a lot of calls too. James Harden gets fouled, every time he goes to the lane. Clearly, he's not getting fouled every time.
Yeah, I remember. Except this just
there's a lot of players.
It turns guys into crybabies. Because I remember Kevin Durant missed a wide open 3 once. No one was near him. He missed it, and then he started screaming at an official and giving the foul sign about why there wasn't a foul called.
Yeah, the NBA has certainly changed in the fact that players now are playing to. Expecting to get calls, where I feel like back in the Jordan era, they weren't playing, they weren't driving to the lane expecting to get fouled. They were driving to the lane expecting to score. And I feel like that's where the disconnect is now.
That's a really good point. Now they're pretty much just driving for the call.
Right. Yeah, because if you're down by 4 with 30 seconds left, and if you're not, if you've decided you're not going to shoot a 3 or you're not going to shoot a jump shot, you're going to drive to the hoop and your main goal is to get fouled. Your main goal isn't to make the basket. It's to get fouled, go to the free throw line,